Welcome back to Super Recaps. Today I will show you a horror thriller film from 2015 called Intruders. The film's main character is Anna. She has agoraphobia and just stays at home and takes care of her sick brother, Conrad, who has pancreatic cancer and doesn't have long to live. To help Anna, Conrad calls a lawyer called Charlotte. He asks Charlotte to sort out his will because he will pass away soon. Conrad has made all of the preparations, and all Anna has to do is sign the document. Charlotte tries to help Conrad since he wants Anna to be taken care of after his death. So she attempts to persuade Anna, but Anna still doesn't sign the paper. Following the lawyer's departure, Anna and Conrad hug each other. And Conrad's last words are that Anna is stronger now and that she can't stay in the house forever. He also reminds Anna that she needs to try and leave the house to enjoy her life with the rest of the world. He also pleads with her to forgive their father for his past action. Anna, on the other hand, is unwilling to even think about forgiving her father. During the night, Conrad dies in his sleep and his body is taken away in the morning. Now Anna is all alone in the house, struggling with her sadness. Shortly after, Dan, their regular delivery man, turns up with the delivery. Anna is very familiar with him, so she asks him to come in. They talk, and Dan comforts her for a bit. Eventually, Dan starts talking about how he wishes to leave this small town but can't afford to. Hearing this, Anna gets up and brings him a bag full of cash. She tells him that since her brother passed away, she has an abundance of money that she has no use for, but Dan gently declines her offer. In the following scene, Anna is getting ready to attend Conrad's funeral, but she can't bring herself to leave the house. Conrad's lawyer also starts calling her landline many times because she wants Anna to attend the funeral. Anna ignores her calls and instead heats up some water to make tea. Soon after, a car arrives outside her house and three threatening-looking men come out of it. Anna panics and hides under the kitchen table. The men break into her home and begin searching through the house. The kettle on the stove suddenly whistles, alerting the men, and Anna realizes that she needs to hide somewhere else. So she hurries out of the kitchen and heads upstairs. After she leaves, the men go to the kitchen and see the water boiling. This makes them realize that Anna is probably still in the house. They cut the telephone lines and start looking for her. Perry decides to look upstairs and eventually sees her. Anna runs to escape through the main door, but her fear overtakes her, and she stops right in front of the door. The intruders are taken aback by this, and the head of the group decides to sit her down and begins asking about where the money is hidden. Perry, who is vicious and restless, insists that they should just kill her and burn the house. But Vance, who seems to be the same one, doesn't agree and says that they should just leave. Perry is then left alone with Anna to keep an eye on her while the others look for the money. In the meantime, Perry, the borderline psychopath, starts questioning Anna about how silly it was of her to stop by the door instead of escaping. This is when we officially discover that Anna suffers from agoraphobia, which is the fear of the outside world. Because of this, she has been cooped up in her house for 10 years after her father died. When Perry finds out about this, he decides to be cruel and forcefully carries Anna outside. This causes Anna to have a breakdown. Then arrives and grabs Anna, and she unexpectedly urinates. Despite this, she questions her about the money, but Anna is experiencing a nervous breakdown. They eventually bring her back in and pass Vance to keep an eye on Anna instead, as Perry can't be trusted. Vance then brings her to a separate room and gives her clean pants to change into, but Anna doesn't move. While in the other part of the house, Vance checks the basement and discovers several doors, and one which does not have a handle. Meanwhile, Anna tries to talk to Vance and tells him that he is better than the others. This enrages Vance, and he charges at her, informing her that this operation was, in fact, his idea and that he will not let her go. Suddenly, Dan, the delivery guy, jumps in and pulls Vance away from Anna. Anna is shocked when Vance calls Dan's name, which obviously implies they know each other. Anna then flees the room and goes into hiding. After hearing the noises, and Perry come up, and they all gather in the living room and realize that Anna is no longer with them. Chip ties Dan up and leaves him in the living room. Meanwhile, Perry and Vance go search for Anna. Perry is very agitated when they don't find her, and he takes out Anna's bird from its cage and warns that he will kill it if Anna doesn't come out. Yet, Anna does not emerge from her hiding place, so Perry slaughters the innocent bird and goes to the living room with the others. Anna decides to go to hide in the bathroom, but Vance eventually finds her. She gets scared and ends up stabbing him in the neck, which leads to his death. She then brings Vance's corpse to the basement. JP and Perry assume Vance can deal with Anna himself, but eventually, they feel something is wrong and hurry to the basement and see Vance's dead body. They also encounter Anna there, but she easily escapes through the door with no handle. The next scene shows that Anna has safely returned upstairs, where she pushes a mysterious lever, which withdraws the basement steps into the walls, trapping the intruders. As a result, we see that the tables have been turned, and Anna is the one in control now. She approaches Dan, who is restrained in the living room, and sits beside him. She expresses her anger about them attempting to rob her during Conrad's funeral and demands that Dan explain himself. Dan admits that he was only friends with Vance and not the other two. He says that he had innocent intentions and that he had just discussed with Vance about Anna being alone and how she tried to give him a lot of money, but he never imagined that Vance would try to rob her. Anna is furious when she hears this and viciously breaks Dan's finger. She drags him to the basement, and before throwing him inside, she tells him that if he had just taken the money, none of this would have occurred. She then goes to a room that lets her keep an eye on the three in the basement. After the fall, Dan's knee gets dislocated. Soldier tries to help in realigning it. Anna then informs them through the basement door that they can find a first aid kit in the other room. But Perry is angry, and he crushes Dan's leg. Meanwhile, Chip is reasonable, so he enters what appears to be a pristine kid's room. But as soon as he enters, the door shuts and locks behind him. Anna is able to do that because she has a device that can control everything in the basement. Perry, on the other hand, tries to break the door and eventually succeeds. When he goes in, he discovers an empty hallway and a room with a noose. He also realizes that this room is exactly adjacent to the one Chip is in. Suddenly, the lights go out, and when they come back on, Perry notices an opening in the wall. He checks inside and discovers a series of steps leading up, and just as he is about to notify Chip, Anna suddenly appears behind him and smashes him in the head with a hammer. They get into a fight, and he eventually pins her down and starts strangling her. But as a result of his previous head injury, he dies before he can kill her. In the following scene, Charlotte arrives to make sure Anna is all right. While coming in, she noticed Dan's car parked outside, so she asks Anna about it. Meanwhile, in the basement, Dan goes to look for Perry in the room, but is shocked to find a freezer with a dead body instead. Back to Anna, she picks up a knife in case she has to kill Charlotte. Downstairs, Dan discovers the opening in the wall and goes inside and starts climbing the stairs. After reaching the top, he starts banging on the ceiling. The sound gets Charlotte's attention, but Anna quickly convinces her that it's just the noisy radiator. Charlotte doesn't think much of it and departs. After she leaves, Anna goes to the basement. She gets Dan and shoves him into a wardrobe. She next enters a room, which has a one-way mirror behind a picture connected to the other room that will let Anna see JP. Anna then uses her device again and opens the closet door. This causes Chip to believe that Anna is spying on them through the mirror, so he attempts to break it, but Anna begins speaking through a speaker and informs them that the glass is bulletproof. She then instructs to open the drawer and put on a shirt that is inside it. Chip complies reluctantly. With nothing to do, Chip tries to come up with possible explanations as to why Anna would even have these suspicious rooms in her house and concludes that her late brother, Conrad, was probably a lunatic and that he must have brought the victims here. He guesses that while Conrad killed the victims in this room, Anna must have watched him from the mirror. Job's statements irritate Anna, who refuses to listen to the accusation and instead passes a folder to them. She reveals that her brother, along with her, only abducted pedophiles to punish them because their father was a pedophile who abused Anna when she was a child, but fortunately, Conrad killed him to save Anna, and she hasn't left the house since then. Butch is resentful and tries to hurt her by describing the things her father did to her. He also calls her brother a sicko who enjoys murdering people. Hearing all that, Anna begins to cry and tells him to shut up. Even Dan tells him to stop. Anna is spiteful, so she tells Dan about a gun hidden in the room and orders him to kill JP. She promises that she will set him free if he complies, but Dan is way too kind and refuses to do it. On the other hand, snatches the gun from Dan after pushing him. In the next moment, Anna starts urging to repent for being a robber, and Chip starts crying, appearing to be affected by her words. He points the gun towards his head, but then he starts laughing and says he was only playing around. Then he turns around and points the gun at Dan instead, saying that he will kill him if she does not let them escape. Anna cares about Dan, so she lets them go. Chip and Dan leave the house with Vance's body, but Chip is still enraged since Santa murdered his brother. Rather than fleeing, he chooses to throw gasoline all over the house to burn it. Anna tries to give him the money, but Chip no longer cares about his money since his brother is gone. They get into a fight, but Anna manages to escape upstairs. Chip chases her and pins her down to the bed and tells her that he will do what her father used to do to her. Fortunately, Dan shows up at the right time and urges him to stop. While Chip is distracted, Anna snatches the gun from him and kills him with it. Without uttering a word, Anna and Dan head to the living room. They look at each other for a moment before Dan leaves and closes the door behind him. In the last scene, it appears that Anna has gotten over her agoraphobia as she sets fire to the house and walks away from it. Thanks for watching. To support the channel, make sure to subscribe and hit the like button and press the bell icon to get new video updates.